coin lovers, Scott here, and we're actually in the hobby shop today, so welcome aboard. We're going to talk today about the key date of 1889 Carson City coins. Anytime we have a key date, the counterfeiters, the fakers, the everybody dishonest loves to try to make a buck off of those, and so they try to cheat people and take their money and give them something that's not even a real coin. There's certain things to look for. We're going to talk today about the reverse side, in particular the mint mark. There's only really two there's only really two mint marks ever on the Morgan. Let's take a look. I've made some mint marks here. Very first year, the mint mark looked kind of like that. Sometimes they were wide apart, sometimes they were slanted, and this or that. And the very first year they had 4 minor variations of this letter. Okay, put your finger in that place. But then they changed in the very next year and all subsequent years to the C that looks more like this, not like the round one of 1878, but the taller oblong C for all the other years, including, by the way, the one we're talking about today, the 1889 Carson City. Had big, tall, I say big, but they're bigger than the original CCs, and they have a font kind of like this. Of note is the really thick part right here and thin right there. So for you kinesthetic people, just take these, hold them in your hand, take a look at them, get a feel for those. I think you get the idea. Here's another look for those of you who prefer to see it like this. The original is here on the left. That's the 1878 CC. Notice the roundness and the shortness of the letters. And then over here, which the mouse doesn't like to work in the shop for some reason, we have the taller oblong CCs for all other years that came along after the 1878. So you get the idea. There's only one font that's going to work for our 1889 Carson City. All right. So anytime you see the little round CCs, you know that, and it's on an 1889, you know it doesn't belong there. It belongs on an 1878. So that's our first lesson. In looking for, well, let's take a look at this. On the 1889, there's really only 3 different combinations of this C, the 2 C's, like we just looked at, the oblong C. And if you don't see one of these on the 1889 CC, then you know that it's probably a fake. It's not easy to tell some of them. I think, to me, this set right one that I've just moved around, that one to me is the most difficult to check out, because the letters are almost in line with each other. They're almost straight vertically up and down, but they're not. They are set a little to the right, and they're both a little crooked. I think one is turned one way and the other's turned the other. But they're so tiny, it's hard to see with the naked eye. Many of the counterfeits have a perfectly centered, perfectly straight up and down CC. And you can see from these 3 examples, these are the only 3 legitimate. If you see perfectly straight and perfectly centered CCs, even if they are the oblong CC, they don't belong there. It is a fake. So keep that in mind. Now, in researching some of this, I found a wonderful article. It's right there on ngccoin.com, and they told the story of a recently discovered, at that time it was recent, discovered fake, where someone took their coin. All right, this is a coin. This is a wooden coin. They took a Morgan silver dollar coin and they hollowed out the reverse side. and they left a little rim on there, just like that. So and then they took, and I don't know what they used, if they used a laser or if they used a precision milling machine or something. But a good tool man did that. And then they took another coin, and they probably milled half of it off and then put it on a metal lathe and turned it to be truly round, maybe a little bevel on the edge, so that when it is put into that hollowed out coin, it created this kind of thing. And then they just doctored up that seam, and they called it a $10,000 AU Carson City 1889. And they got caught. I think they got caught when they sent it into NGC. Take a look at this. Here's the coin, and it looks pretty good. As you can see, the obverse, we'll worry about that on another show. But today, if we look here, and like I say, the mouse doesn't like to work in here. Once in a while, the mouse does turn up in this place. But take a look at those C's. Those C's are very similar to the little round C's of the 1878 we just talked about. They're certainly not the oblong C's that should be on that 1889 coin. Now these people, whoever they were, this is the coin that they hollowed out and put a separate reverse in there, and it looks to me like they have used a 1878 CC reverse, judging from the fonts on those C's. Now let's take a look at the rim on that coin, and this is what the rim looked like after they did their little insert. They took some sort of a rotary tool and put little marks to try to mask that line that went all the way around the coin on the reverse side. Now that's pretty diabolical there. They were going to try to pass that coin off as a $10,000 AU quality key date Morgan. And believe me, if one person can do it, then a lot of people can do it. There may be people watching right now that are making plans to mill out coins and insert their own reverses or obverses onto the coin. And you know, it's our job to educate people. Now, one thing about the hobby shop here, we don't make any money off of this channel. We're not monetized. We do it strictly for educational purpose and have a little fun sometimes. So y'all keep that in mind. There are fakes out there. Here's one from eBay. This coin, the obverse looks pretty okay to me, although the uneven wear around the numerals and the about the 5 o'clock area does look kind of strange, where the rim is obliterated there, but it's not obliterated anywhere else. That's a little odd, but it's the reverse that we're looking at today. The reverse of that same coin is right here. No, that's not the same coin either. Here it is. This coin has a little problem with the mint mark, and you'll see that this mint mark is extremely slanted upward. That C on the left side is slanted about 10 degrees out of straight up and down, and that's pretty extreme. You can see also that C on the left side is nearly spaced in the middle between the D and the ribbons of that bow. The other C is kind of in line with it and tilted almost as much. Let's take a look at our legit mint marks and see if that looks like anything that is real. And you can say, it's kind of like the tilted left. But it's not the tilted left. The tilted left C, first C, is up higher, closer to the ribbon. You might see. This C is down in the middle of the field there, and it's just a fake. Now, this coin, to me, it doesn't look like a casting. It could be, but doesn't look like one. This may be a coin that has been split in half, where a different CC has been put onto the 1889 Philly, or one of those kind of tricks. They may have even applied those CCs onto the back of an 1889 Philly. Whatever the case, the mint mark is not right. And I didn't have to look long on the online sales platform to find that thing. So be aware that there's just a great many fakes. There's a lot of money to be made. I don't know, this coin probably $700 coin, and it's probably not going to weigh out correctly. It probably has a seam on the edge that we can't see because of this cardboard flip that it's in. But whatever the case, I really do believe this is a fake coin here. And just for fun, we'll look at this other coin. This is really bad. Since we're doing reverses today, we'll only look at the reverse. But this coin here has the most crumpled up, screwed up. This is on the online sales platform at this moment. Look at the edge on that thing. That's a nightmare. You know why the edge looks like that? It's not because of wear. It's not because of damage. It's because they're trying to cover up the casting marks around the rim. Look at that Eagles. Look at the field under that Eagles east wing. You see that? That is the #1 calling card of a cast coin. And then if you look also, the #2 calling card would be the dots. There's a dot on the obverse side. The #3 is strangely, it's raining on the shop now. Strangely faint letters that turn up, like over here where it says United. Well, this coin says uned because it has such a weak I and a T, and that is a cast coin. Incidentally, we can take a look at those C's, and although they do look to be oblong, I don't know, that one may pass for the dropped C. One of those kind of things. So it does actually have probably a legitimate CC on there. But that coin, I can tell you now, it won't weigh out. It is in horrible condition. It has been abused like nothing I've really seen on a Morgan before. And they did it, I believe, intentionally to cover the casting lines that it probably has around the rim. Now, there's one more thing. We can look at a real coin here. Last Christmas, Mrs. Hoogie, she knows what to get me for Christmas, right? She picked out an 1889 Carson City. It was a raw coin. I don't always recommend buying raw coins. If you're going to buy raw coins, you better research them and know what you're looking at. This one here we'll talk about next time has what they call the far date. We'll find out what far date means next time. But it is the 1889, and it is a Carson City. There's a good look at the mint mark. If we take a look at our legitimate mint marks, it kind of looks to me like the dropped C. It appears to be the dropped C. You can see the position of the second C. And let's look one more time. The first C is tilted a little bit to the left. The second C is tilted left also, but lower, noticeably lower. They call it the dropped C. So this is a real mint mark. That's good. And Mrs. Hoogie is off the hook for that one. I hope you guys learned a little something today. Do remember, the round C's belong on the 1878. All other Morgan silver dollars have C's that are oblong. They have the thick and thin features to them. I'm Hoogie. This has been the Hobby Shop. And oh, one more thing. Don't forget to drink your cranberry juice. We'll see you hares next time.